Hello everyone, this is Spandana Mekala. We know that ecosystem is a structural unit and functional unit of biosphere. The function of an ecosystem is a broad, vast and complete dynamic system. It can be studied under three heads: energy flow, biogeochemical cycles, ecological succession. So, today we are going to discuss the function of an ecosystem under energy flow. Energy is the basic force responsible for all metabolic activities. The flow of energy is unidirectional, that is, energy flows from producers to top consumers. The study of trophic level interaction, which deals with how the members of an ecosystem are connected based on their nutritional needs. As we already discussed, energy flow is unidirectional, that is, energy flows from producers to higher trophic levels. So, when this energy flows, there is a loss of some energy in the form of unusable heat at each trophic level. So, the energy level decreases from first trophic level to subsequent trophic levels. The trophic levels are numbered considering the source of energy as the base and the top consumers as the final trophic level. So we need to study three concepts in order to study about trophic level interaction: food chain, food web, ecological pyramids. So let us see about food chain and its significance. Organisms depends on one another for food, and this sequence of feeding mechanism forms a food chain. It starts with producers and ends with top carnivores. Significance: to add diversity of food, to maintain stability of various ecosystems by avoiding overshooting of an ecosystem, to form food web maintains stability of an ecosystem. Next, let's see types of food chains. There are two types of food chain. One is grazing food chain and the second one is detritus food chain. So, in grazing food chain, green plants or primary producers forms the base and the primary consumers is herbivore. Whereas in detritus food chain, base is the dead organic matter of decaying animals and plant bodies consumed by microorganisms and then to detrivores. The main distinction between these two food chains is the source of energy for the first level consumers. It's plants biomass in grazing food chain, whereas it is detritus food chain in it is dead organic matter. These both are linked by the fact that the detritus, which is obtained from the waste materials of the grazing food chain, is used in detritus food chain. Now let's have a look for few examples of food chains. In terrestrial and aquatic, we see as grass and phytoplanktons are the producers. And in detritus food chain, litter. Litter forms the base. C. Grazing food chain, plant is taken by the caterpillar, which is taken by the lizard, and which is taken by the snake. So here plant is the primary producer and snake is the tertiary consumer. In aquatic system, phytoplankton is the primary producer, zooplankton is the primary consumer, secondary consumer is fish, and pelican is the tertiary consumer or the top consumers. So, in this grazing food chain, whatever the dead plants or dead animals form the waste materials and it forms the base for the detritus food chain. So, this litter is consumed by earthworms, which is eaten by chicken and which is taken by hawk. So, these food chains are representing one pathway for the food. So, this type of food chains forms a food web. So, let us see what food web is. It is the representation of all possible transfer of energy, whereas food chain is part of a food web representing one pathway of food. If one food chain is affected, the succeeding links will be affected. Significance: it relates various diverse feeding habits together. It increases diversity of nutrient cycles among various ecosystems of biosphere, and decreases the chances of overshoot, thus maintaining stability of different ecosystems. Next, let us see about ecological pyramids. The diagrammatic representation of trophic levels are called as ecological pyramids. It starts with food producer as the base and top carnivore as the tip. So there are three types of ecological pyramids: pyramids of numbers, pyramids of biomass, pyramids of energy. So let us see first pyramid of numbers. It deals with the relationship between the numbers of primary producers and consumers of different levels. It is the graphical representation of total number of individuals of different species. It can be upright, inverted, or spindle shaped. So this shape depends on size and biomass. Limitations: doesn't take into account that size of the organisms in trophic levels can vary. Does not completely define the trophic structure of an ecosystem, and it is very difficult to count all the organisms. C. Pyramids of numbers upright in case of grassland ecosystem and in aquatic pond. So the producers are higher in number, and next level herbivores are little less in number, primary carnivores are little lesser than the grasshoppers. So this decreasing number of trophic levels are due to the number of organisms available. So more number of producers available, but herbivores have to feed on those producers, and that is why the primary consumers will be lesser in number than the producers. In the same way, the numbers are decreasing from each trophic level, and top carnivores are very less in number. So these are the upright pyramid of numbers. Let us see in inverted pyramid numbers. This is where very few number of large trees are available, but parasites are more. So this parasitic system is where you will find an inverted pyramid of numbers. The another one is spindle shaped pyramid of numbers. Here the top carnivore will be lesser in number, and the consumers are more in number when compared to the primary producers. So this is where the pyramid of numbers can be upright or inverted or spindle shaped depending on the number of producers and the number of consumers. Let us see pyramid of biomass. To overcome the limitations of pyramid of numbers, this pyramid of biomass is used. Instead of counting the numbers, they are weighed. The total dry weight of all organisms at each trophic level at a particular time is shown in pyramid of biomass. Size difference problem of organisms in each trophic level is overcome. Pyramid of biomass can be upright or inverted. So in terrestrial ecosystem it is upright, and in aquatic ecosystem it is inverted. Because by considering the dry weight of the organisms, we see that it can be upright or inverted. Let's see the next one, pyramid of energy. So to compare the functional roles of trophic levels, this pyramid of energy is used. This pyramid of energy reflects laws of thermodynamics, that is, conversion of solar to chemical. This is done by the method of photosynthesis, and this will be eaten. These plants or primary producers will be eaten by the primary consumers, and when this conversion of solar to chemical is taking place, heat energy is also released, and heat energy in each trophic level is released because of the respiration and other metabolic activities, and with loss of energy being depicted at each transfer to another trophic level. So we can see only the 10% of energy is being transferred from one level to another level. So this explains the phenomena of biomagnification. Biomagnification is nothing but concentration of toxic substances to increase in concentration progressively at higher levels of the food chain. So this is the end of the topic today. Let's discuss the next topics, that is nutrient cycling or biogeochemical cycles and ecological succession or ecosystem development in the next class. Thank you. This is Spandana Mekala signing off.